All of you, we're live on Facebook and a 10-minute video on TikTok to spread this message. So currently I'm in Europe with my father. At the time of this talk, I am still under the capacity of a legal and medical interpreter and the assistant director at my father's office, the professional social service office. I wanted to make this recording as my memory is still fresh about what just happened. I'm currently working a neurology case, whereas the patient is in his 70s and was referred to neurosurgery. The family doctor says, okay, here's the referral, and go find a neurosurgeon. And thus I did. I found a specialist, and they said, we need the primary care to do a records request. So the family doctor is supposed to ask. I'm sorry. Hold on one second. The specialist is wanting the family doctor hold on, let me redo this on my TikTok. The time difference here. Okay. Hello to all of you. Today I wanted to make this recording while my memory is still fresh regarding a medical case that I'm working on records request. A 70-year-old patient, neurosurgery. The family doctor wanted him to go see a neurosurgeon. We tried twice to tell the family doctor's practice, okay, the keyword, the practice, to send over medical records for the patient to the specialist. Specialists haven't received it. They got 2 fax numbers, got multiple locations. Then we called the family doctor again and said, can you fax it again? And they said, we need a paper trail. We need the specialist to ask for the medical records. So, I'm quite busy, and somewhere down the line I kind of forgot. And then I was quickly reminded that that's ridiculous. Why does the family doctor who says you need to go see now having to do a paper trail of asking back and forth? It's a back and forth thing. Very frustrated. It's a very frustrating process. What is the point of today's talk? Well, research shows modern day adults, only 25% actually listen with accuracy. Along my exchange and encounter with the staff at the family practice, I specifically said 3 things. I need you to fax the referral, imaging, and clinical notes to the specialist. When that was reconveyed back to me, she said, you just need the last clinical notes, right? So, no, it's not what I said. Furthermore, again, this is the 3rd try at such office. I'm choosing not to use their name, okay, because the amount of exposure that I have and influence that I have on social media, I don't want to ruin their reputation. People make mistakes, I get it. I'm also trying to move these things along so that people can get the care that they need. We got a big problem in our medical system. We also have a big problem in our legal system. And the problem traces back to just people don't really care. Let me tell you how I functioned back in the day as front desk, and sometimes even MA responsibilities when I worked front desk. For some reason, they figure out, hey, Chi Dao can do everything, let him do everything. Back in my day when I was in my 20s, realizing that I have ADHD, that I would forget, but I understand the nature, weight, and gravity of my job. I had a notepad in the back of my pocket and always 2 pen. So here I am running around the medical office, patient name, date of birth, da da da, chief complaints, HPI, DX, RX. I write it down. Two reasons. Number one, I can relay it back to the patient. Number two, if I'm ever sued for some reason, because people in America, people sue people for all sorts of reasons. Then I have a paper trail of, this is what happened, this is the provider, this is what they said, this is what you said, and this is what happened. This is the referral, authorization, you name it. I care. It seems like I am the only one that cares. That's what it feels like. Is no wonder why I truly an undisputed youngest and most professional and effective interpreter perhaps the United States has ever seen. I'm catching all sorts of mistakes. I am a critical meditation teacher. Keyword critical. That means that, I catch mistakes. I catch mistakes in my students. I catch mistakes in other people. Necessarily so that they can become better people. What does this mean for the general public? You all might want to talk amongst yourself and your family members about utilizing me as your legal medical advocate. Obviously, if you speak English, you don't need an interpreter. But with 19 years of experience, I think you need a legal and medical advocate. Why? So that I can advocate and sit there and listen and catch their mistakes for you. Why? You or your loved ones are not going to be all there mindfully, cognitively, to be able to channel communication back and forth with the provider. It's a lot of emotions when you're sick or your loved one is sick, depending on the diagnosis. And now you're having to juggle through insurance, referrals, whether in-network, out-of-network, deductible, copay, co-insurance. Why are we talking about this, by the way? Well, ever since becoming a monk, I've continued to work as a legal and medical interpreter. Okay? I never stopped. This is how I fund my program. This is also a way for me to continue funding my program, catering to teen suicides and things that is happening right now in the United States. Just the amount of violence and drug use and alcohol abuse, you name it. Just criminal, just the criminal world. I want everyone to just reflect, because I don't know how many of this is going to reach people. I find it heartbreaking, truly deep down inside. And, the last conversation I had with this girl on the phone who says, oh, I'm escalating this to, okay, I'm like, all right, let me tell you something. And I'm holding the phone and I'm talking, I'm like, listen, I'm an assistant director at the Professional Social Service Office, okay? Pinellas Park, Florida. I need your office manager to call me once this is done. Like, this is the language that I'm using. I want everyone to pay really close attention to what had to be done, what had to be said in order for it to be done. Now, of course, the girl blamed it on confusions and stuff like. I'm like, ma'am, perhaps there's nothing wrong with my English, but I'm going to review that. I'm going to review whether or not there's something wrong with my English. But I know what I said because I've been doing this for a while, and I've never been audited by any doctors or lawyers or judges in my line of work. Okay, here's what's going to happen, and here's what's going to happen when it doesn't happen the way that it needs to happen, the right way. You see, if this patient dies because it's a neurosurgery case, you, a part of your office, and everyone that is involved in the office, and I got everyone's names too, will be deposed, meaning lawyers will take deposition of you and everyone that I have encountered throughout the timeline of this medical case. And you're going to explain what you did right and what you did wrong and all your documentations to back up what you claim. Okay? So I suggest that you get this right, because if you don't, everyone's going to have a field day in a court of law. Okay? And I'll tell you which judge is going to preside also. That's what America has come to. We've been knowing the medical system fails. Every day it fails. Every day there's new insurance. I dare all of you, any of you, members of the public, call your local doctor's office and ask if the insurance changed every single day. Exactly. How confusing it is to know who's not in network, who's out of network. But the primary care for all of you, you're not getting the care. You're not happy. You get sicker, you get more frustrated, you're more angry. The emotional toll it takes on your body on top of the diagnosis. It's not, how is that a happy country? How's that a happy state where you live? It's not. That's my point. So perhaps reaching out to me, 727-637-3490 for consultation. So that way, number one, I raise funding. Number two, I put my skills to good use. And number three, I save lives. I'm just tired of this. I think all of medical professionals are tired of it. And the last note I want to leave, because the TikTok thing only has 10 minutes. If you're a medical provider, care. Because if you don't care about patients, you need to find a new job. In law and medicine, they say if you don't enjoy it anymore, well, get out of it because you're going to do harm. And if it is well-founded that you're doing harm, well, I guess you're just going to see my face again in a court of law. And I will testify what you did wrong because I know what I did right. Okay, this concludes my 10 minutes on the TikTok. I'll do part 2 here shortly. Y'all hang on one second real quick. This is part 2. I just finished talking about the medical advocation, about how, a lot of establishment and practices don't really care about patients, and how I suggest people to hire me as the medical interpreter. Now we're going to talk about the legal setting. This goes hand in hand, legal, medical, social work, therapists. You name all the professionals in the world I've worked with, okay, as an interpreter, law and medicine, and social work. Pretty much you got to ask yourself, does my lawyer really care about me? Does my therapist really care about me? Does my doctor really care about me? Because these are my findings. And mind you, I have been on the other side of the chair as a patient. As a patient in medical settings, having issues from all sorts of parts in my body. I have been a patient in the psychotherapy chair. And I have worked with lawyers on all areas of law and medicine. I'm currently the assistant director at the Professional Social Service Office, where my dad is the boss. Do your professional and provider actually really cares? When it comes to the legal setting, you better hope they're on point. One common mistake that I have found is lawyers or their paralegals don't communicate with you about your case, where it's at. Like, what's going on with this motion? Where are we at? Are we going to get sued? Or are we going to go to court? Are we going to take it to trial, pre-trial? What the hell's going on? I'm very frustrated that the client doesn't know what the right hand is doing. The left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. Causes frustration. It's funny that it comes to my office. And then I go down there and I'm like, hi, I'm a legal interpreter. But I'm here because of the communication issues between you and your client. I'm not here as an interpreter. But with my experience, I'm able to just jump in and help about what's happening. So where are we at with this case? My point is I like to ease people's anguish. I like to ease people's anxiety, sadness, frustration, and anger. Because I feel what you feel. I still do feel what you feel until this very day. In part 1, this is part 2. In part 1, I told you all how frustrated I was with the doctor's offices, whereas I had to tell the girl, because they're, front desk people or back end people, they just do their 8, hit the gate, put their notes in, and they leave. So I have to put that weight bearing responsibility on them by telling them, if you don't do this, okay, and if the patient dies, lawyer's going to take deposition. And I'm going to be there. Okay, that's American law. American law, everyone gets sued. Don't get sued in America. Okay, you need to get that. Everyone who lives in the United States, pretty much you're going to have to be your own lawyer. True or false? You get pulled over, you got to be your own lawyer. Why? You got to know when they can search the vehicle and when they cannot. Anyone who is smart would read the first 100 pages of the legal guidelines. Because it says what you can do, what you cannot do, what they can and cannot do. You get my point? If you don't know your rights, you have none. True or false? So, uh, again, the purpose of this is that number one, I make myself useful. I raise funding for my programs. I get out there. I get to effect the, my purpose. Okay. In Buddhism, because you all know, you all probably are seeing this through the religious lens. Not a lot of people donate. I continue to work every day as a legal and medical interpreter. I see it all the time. And by the time it reaches to my table, sometimes it is too late. I try to save what I can. I try to fix what I can. Pick up the phone and start solving problems. So my point is that don't let it get that far, right? Indeed, it does cost money to get things moving in law and medicine, right? But you have to ask yourself, just like how I ask myself, am I going to put myself through that, or would I just pay a professional or someone who's in the field for so long, knowing their stuff, to just do it for me, or just to speak on my behalf? Because when I pick up the phone, I cuss all the time. That's to the general public, right? So, it's a terrible world when they don't care. And I find myself the only one caring for people, for you, advocating for social justice, equality, compassion, deep understanding. I have all of that. I will do all of that. But when it's time for me to just put my foot down, I'm going to put my foot down. And I don't care if I'm a monk or not. I'm going to put my foot down to get the job done. I don't have a lot of time to play with people. I don't have time to play with lawyers. I don't have time to play with doctors. Okay? These are things that need to be done, or complaints will be filed, and lawsuits we're going to put it in the complaints. And we're going to do what needs to be done. We're going to take depositions of people. We're going to get the truth out. Let the jury decide. Let the judge decide who's at right and who's at fault, and what damages are done, and who's going to be compensated as a direct result of that damage. And then the lawyer that I use or will be working with, the other side has to pay you. They will compensate you. They will compensate your lawyer. So it's an ugly thing. Yeah. So my point is, in America, in life, don't get sued. Okay. The effective assistance of counsel, that's in law, and doctors need to follow AMA guidelines. You need to uphold your oath. You need to make sure that your office is running smoothly. The one thing I also have identified is doctors and lawyers went to school. They went to law school and they went to school of medicine. They did not graduate school of business, and then they try to run the darn practice the way that they run it, and it just falls apart. Ineffective, inefficient, cause a lot of headache and heartaches, cause a lot of harm. Most of it indirect, because they don't even know what the hell is happening. They don't even know what the right hand and the left hand is doing. So, I don't have much time with you all. I hope you all really think about this. And you can call me or email me, the number one Vietnamese interpreter at Gmail, or directly to my cell phone, 727-637-3490. I predict that my time as an interpreter will be short. Right now I'm doing a lot of religious work. I don't know. I'm just tired of seeing a lot of mistakes out there and trying to mitigate mistakes, and serving the people has always been my purpose. So again, I teach for free. I do a lot of things for free. And if you would like to get me on board with your family's legal and medical case, please call me and we'll discuss into the details of your case, the complexities of your case. But, I'm here to help. And I'd like to conclude my teachings today and my talk. I hope this helps. And this is the first time the world ever got insight into the nature of my work. Every day. Even now here in Europe, when it's 3 a.m, and in the US, 8 o'clock at night. So tomorrow I have another deposition. May you all be well, be happy, be free, and always be healthy. Sa tu, sa tu, sa tu.